My testimony may be kind of long and like a bunch of bits and pieces at the start, but maybe by the time I'm done, it will all tie together and you can see how the Lord has blessed me down my life. I was born 62 years ago this past May in 1963. In October 1970, I was diagnosed as a juvenile type 1 insulin-dependent diabetic. The doctor that diagnosed me told my parents that I had about a 20-year life expectancy at that time. I lost an aunt who had juvenile type 1 diabetes on June 20, 1978 at the age of 28 due to kidney failure due to diabetes. During the 1980s, I know a twice, if not 3 times, I would be alone on the tractor. I would hear someone call my name 2 or 3 times when there was no one there. These times were spread out over a 10-15-year period of time. I had read and heard about the Lord knocking or calling on your heart, but it took me a while to figure it out. Later, when I had figured out what had happened, I regretted not answering right away, for I wanted to be saved, but didn't feel like I had been. As the second or third time came along, I got quicker in my response, but never immediately. I was looking for a change in my feelings and just didn't find it. I grew up during my childhood attending a Baptist church with my mother and sisters. My dad didn't like that church. Mother grew up as Baptist and died as Church of Christ. She wanted him to attend church also, so she told him to pick the church and she would go with him. That's how we started attending Mount Zion about the time I graduated high school. I got married in 1987, had one son born in 9. I got divorced in 92. In July of 2005, I couldn't breathe when I laid down one night, so I went to the doctor the next day thinking I was having a problem with allergies and sinuses. He prescribed some medicine for both, but that night I still couldn't breathe when I laid down. My dad went with me when I went back to the doctor again the next day. I asked the doctor if I didn't look swollen. The doctor looked at me and said he had missed that. He just thought I was looking well and had gained some weight. He wanted me to see Dr. Wright, a nephrologist in Jackson. Dr. Wright couldn't see me immediately, but said for me to come to the ER at Jackson for his team that was on call to see me. Dad took me to the ER and was waiting for the doctor when a young black woman came in to check me over. He asked when the doctor was going to be in, and she turned and looked at him and said she was the doctor. Dr. Wright had handpicked her to join his team, for she had graduated at the top of her class at the University of Mississippi in May of 2005. Dr. Downs Bogard got my kidney started back to working and poured a lot of fluid off of me during the next few days. If he had asked me then about a transplant, when everything seemed to be going well, I would have said, no way. Those people are crazy. But when you are starting dialysis or transplant with basically a normal life afterwards, transplant looks a lot better, differently. I was faced with a decision of dialysis for the rest of my life, kidney transplant or kidney pancreas transplant. No one would give me any advice, so I did the only thing I knew to do. I turned to the Lord in prayer and asked for guidance and protection for me, the doctors, the nurses, everyone involved. I didn't think I ever said a kidney pancreas transplant, but I told Dr. Downs Bogard that sugar was what had happened to my original kidneys and the new kidney would have a hard enough time without sugar. She started the process to get me in for an evaluation for kidney pancreas transplant at Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt said my insurance would only pay for kidney, but not for kidney pancreas. But if something changed, let them know and they could help me. I talked to my insurance company, and they told me they pay for kidney pancreas transplants at about 15 or 20 places in the U.S. UAB, which is the University of Alabama at Birmingham, Duke, Louisville, Mayo Clinic, and 3 or 4 others in the eastern U.S., in 5 or 6 hospitals west of Mississippi River. So Dr. Downs Bogart started the process of getting me in for evaluation at UAB. UAB notified me in November 2005 that I would be scheduled for evaluation around Valentine's Day 2006. In December, a report was placed and I started peritoneal dialysis. The line of my stomach was used as a kidney in this type of dialysis. Upon starting the dialysis, I became eligible for Medicare due to kidney failure and the need for dialysis. Along with my insurance, since my evaluation at UAB was so wrong with my growth, I decided to wait until after my evaluation before making a decision about going back to Vanderbilt for evaluation there. Then my 2-day evaluation at UAB, I met a lot of doctors, including Dr. Carlton Young, the doctor who would do the transplant, as well as many others involved in the process of test and orientation class, to tell me what to expect during and after the transplant. Dr. Young asked me about my blood type, but I didn't know. He said I would before I left, and if it happened to be type A positive, I'd look at a 3 to 4 month waiting period. I learned later that day during orientation that I was type A positive, and getting the transplant would stay 1 to 3 days in ICU, but if I received both the kidney and pancreas, I was looking at 3 to 5 days in ICU. On Wednesday, May the 24th, 2006, about 10 p.m., the phone rang, and I thought, Di, what do you want that won't wait until morning, for you know I'm already doing dialysis? To my surprise, there was the organ procurement center at UAB, wondering how I felt, if I was ready for a transplant, and for me to head that way. I mentioned fine, and they told me to check with my body and call them back. I called Thomas Short. He called Birmingham and called me back to say the weather was good and that he would be able to find me there. I called the organ procurement center, and they told me to stay by the phone, and they would do some more tests and call me back in a couple of hours to let me know whether to come or not. They called back at 12:30 and told me to come on. Tommy flew me and Mother to Birmingham and drove us to the hospital. UAB is about 4 blocks wide and about 4 blocks long, all connected by crosswalks. I was to enter through the ER, and about after the 3rd or 4th ER he tried, he finally found the right one and wished me well. Duran, Ross, and my dad all drove down that night. During the pre-op process, a nurse wanted to know if I was ambulatory or could walk. I told her, I reckon I better hay today. Oh wait, I better hay yesterday. Today is Thursday. She said good, I wouldn't be there very long. While in the pre-op holding it, I saw Ross, Duran, Di, Mother, and Ross again while waiting. Dr. Young came by and I asked him how long. He said he was in no hurry, because he had not separated the pancreas from the liver yet. I think I remember correctly, it was supposed to be a 4 to 5 hour surgery. My family saw me twice Thursday afternoon after surgery and said I never did lose my color. The staff called my family Friday morning before visitation, and they were all upset, wanting to know what was wrong. The staff said, oh, nothing's wrong. We're getting ready to move him to a room and wonder if you wanted to go along. The pain medication pump was removed on Sunday because I was not using it. I spent 10 to 12 days in the hospital before going to the townhouse, which was owned and operated by the UAB for the transplant patients. There was apartment-style setting and walking distance for lab work, doctor's visits, and meals at the hospital cafeteria by meal tickets. I spent about 5 weeks in Birmingham. I was home for the 4th of July. I learned later that year that UAB ranked number 1 in the world for kidney transplants. Dr. Young was ranked either 2nd or 3rd in the U.S. for pancreas transplants. Over there at the Thomas family, they reference how Jesus caused the blind to see and the lame to walk from victory in Jesus, but never heard anything back from them. After all of this, I felt I truly had been saved, so I was sprinkled and joined Mount Zion in December 2006. For they had told me during all of this not to go swimming in any lake, stream, or public pool, only private pool or the ocean. I lost a big toe and developed sarcoma in my left foot in 2008. I was blessed and got it well and made fine until September 17, when I developed sarcoma in my right foot and started having wounds that would not heal. Except for maybe a 3 to 4 week period, I kept wounds on one or both of my feet until I lost my left foot in August of 22 due to osteomyelitis and poor circulation. From August to December of 22, I was in Vanderbilt Hospital 6 different times. I got my first prosthetic 2 to 3 months after my amputation. My second amputation was September of 23. I was planning to be walking again for the holidays. But in October, after the stitches had been removed, I fell from the knee screwer and hit my stump, opening the incision up like the mouth of a big catfish. I had to start the healing process all over again. It was February before it was fully healed, and I could start the fitting process for my second prosthetic, getting in March of 24. I didn't realize I referenced victory in Jesus in that tunnel there, 2006. How true it was going to be. He caused the lame to walk again. Then in March of this year, I had an episode with my gallbladder. I had to have it removed one side of the morning. As I was getting ready to come out of recovery, I stopped breathing. They did 6 chest compressions before they got me on the ventilator, where I stayed until Monday when they did a procedure to remove a gallstone out of my common bile duct. I came home on Thursday, and I thank God He still has something for me to do.